actually a fight that I kind of need your guys' help with deciding how you want to do it the first week. There's going to be a bunch of ads that spawn. Essentially, there's going to be an upstairs and a downstairs phase. At first, the ads can only be killed downstairs, and once they're killed downstairs, they come back upstairs. There's these little Shadow Fiend type things, and then a big mob, and there's also a caster mob that I'm not sure exists in Heroic or not, but whatever. There's a Dispel, so whenever these things die, they'll leave yellow poop on the ground, and there's a Dispel that's a blue circle that you have to go over and try to get rid of as many circles as you can. The ads consistently spawned like this on PTR. The big ad to the right, one small ad to the left, and two small ads up top. So this would be like, this is why I asked you if you had statue, still crazed, because this feels like a very good statue situation. What we want to try to do is put all of the ads at the top of the room, because when they appear upstairs, they fixate on the boss and they're trying to make it their way to the boss. So it gives us the maximum amount of time to kill them. And Heroic, we probably don't need to make it like all the way to the top of the room, especially when it comes to dispelling and get rid of the yellow poop on the ground. But we will probably want to do it that way in Mythic. The two ways that I saw people doing this fight is they would kite ads, so they'd start moving boss around, or they would just keep boss all the way at the bottom of the map here and just kill ads as they walked across the middle of the room. Obviously, doing it the non-kiting way is the easiest way and makes the most sense, but that's also based off of how much health these ads are going to have. So the thing that I need help with deciding is the way this is going to go. The way everyone goes downstairs is the boss is going to do a tank hit and that the raid has to soak, and obviously you guys will have assigned sides of when you're going downstairs. So let's say group 1 is going to go downstairs. This is group 2. They are going to stay upstairs. In Mythic, the main mechanic is going to be if you are within 8 yards of someone in the other realm. So if you're downstairs and within 8 yards of someone who's upstairs, you're going to take a shit ton of damage. Like if you're next to 2 people, you're going to be one shot. So the question I have is, because I think we'll get to this boss probably the second week Mythic is out, is if you guys want to make like hard assignments for like group 1 always stays on whatever side of the room, and group 2 always stays on the opposite side of the room, so that way we can get used to the movement, because this fight is literally just kill ads and don't touch people from the other realm. So I kind of need to know if you guys want to do it Heroic the way we're going to do it Mythic, so that you guys can get used to the movement of it, or if you guys just don't give a shit and we'll just learn that when we get to Mythic. I don't want to overthink it, but I also want Prog to be productive and fast. So
I think if there's anything you can hard assign, you hard assign.
Yeah, the only thing I don't know is like I won't know what sides people are going to be going on the first week. The second week I might know, but I'm not sure. But yeah, does anyone else have an opinion?
I think we should always do the Mythic strat just to build muscle memory and kind of how people should learn how to do the fight. We should learn how to do the fight the right way and not just do it as fast as we can.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see any reason why Heroic would be awful. I feel like you just start locking in the Mythic strat and getting used to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally a movement fight. Just know how to move correctly and the boss will die faster. I think I'd much rather wipe like 3 or 4 more times on Heroic to make everyone do the movement correctly than wipe, an extra 20 times in Mythic, because people are trying to do a faster paced fight while also doing it a new way, if that makes sense. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we do it the wrong way, we're just learning how to do it the wrong way. So,
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so there's going to be group 1 goes down. You guys come back up after your debuff time's out, and then group 2 goes down. And then you guys come back up when your debuff comes out. And then the intermission is he flies around the room and does a charge. He leaves poop on the ground and he spawns ads. And there's going to be dispels to get rid of the poop. He does it 3 or 4 times, and then we go back to phase 1. So, pretty simple. Here is a kill. The number one thing when you go downstairs, and I think he goes downstairs second, so you'll see it when he goes downstairs. These little small ads, because you can see images of them even though he's still upstairs, they have no health. And the way you break them to make them come upstairs is you get rid of a shield that's like 50% of already 0 HP. We cannot kill them underneath the boss, because the boss eats them and gets a stacking damage buff if they die underneath. So, like, luckily he didn't get a stack there, but you'll see these shades are dying. So when you go downstairs, this is not just like an AoE fuckfest, kill those things immediately. We want to gather them well. These little puddles are a mythic only mechanic. What's going to happen is one healer and one DPS is going to get a little blue circle, white circle on them downstairs, and a player upstairs needs to go stand on the circle, and they will swap places. So let's say Tabby's downstairs, she gets this white circle, Cud is going to run over, stand on the circle, and he's going to go downstairs, and Tabby's going to come back upstairs. This is the only time you can be close to someone in another phase. So like this little blue circle that this guy has, that's the dispel circle. And they just never dispel, it looks like. ROP works to stop the ads, and then this big ad actually kind of has a lot of health. So once he comes back upstairs, it's a full hard swap from all the upstairs people. They are kiting it. There is other kill videos where they don't kite at all, and they just keep the boss in one spot the entire time. That's the dispel circles. Get rid of as much poop as you can, and this is going downstairs. And ads, for the most part, always spawn in the same spot. The only difference is instead of spawning at the top of the room, sometimes they spawn underneath the boss over here. And we want to bring these together, gather, and now start killing them. So the way this group did it is the way I would prefer to do it. These are the white circles. Again, one healer, one DPS. So it's going to be hard assigned. This is going to be, you know, if Tabby and Thias are together, and then Cud and Fizz are together for their realms, that, you know, Cud will always go down and do the swap, and then Thias will always go down and do the swap or something along those lines. And then same thing with DPS. So it's going to be a job for 4 people. This is the shield that we have to break to send him upstairs. And then eventually everyone's upstairs and we can all start hitting this ad. The best thing to do, which might not be necessary for Mythic, is this debuff ends right now as they break the shield. So even though you're downstairs, you can still be fully hitting the boss as long as you're not touching someone in the other realm. So yeah. So this is consume. If there's any ads left alive, he eats them and he gains health and a damage buff. So obviously we don't want that. And then I'm not sure if this is heroic and mythic or just mythic, but one group, so the first group would go back downstairs. And then the way this intermission works is he baits on the people who are upstairs first. They dodge. You kill ads. There is this haunting essence that needs kicked. And then there's ads upstairs and there's ads downstairs. And then dispels, and then he's going to do his second charge. Second charge gets baited on the people who are downstairs, and you just repeat. And you do this like 3 or 4 times, and then you go back to phase 1. So yeah, DKs, statue, stuff like that is going to be really good whenever people go downstairs, whenever people go to the other realm, whenever intermission happens. And then this is going to be a major movement boss fight. If you are essentially, like, if you are constantly making mistakes and going and touching people in the other realm, this is not going to be a good fight for you. Any questions?